Good day, fellow Fae. Welcome back to Wood Dweller's Domain. Thank you for stopping by my neck of the woods today. Energy is radiating. Everything has been coming full circle and it feels almost not real. My makeup is showing up really good on the camera. Everything is radiating, guys. I'm really happy about just the direction everything is going right now, and I'll say that this video is just going to be like a quick update video to kind of talk to y'all about some of the really small stuff that's been happening in my life, just day-to-day kind of things. But I will say today, I ended up I went to an event. It was called Charlotte Flow in the Park, or Art Flow in the Park. And I found it because it popped up on my Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh, judging by this event, it sounds like something I want to do. It was completely free. My plan was to go out there and have fun. I prioritized myself in this moment, which is something I'm learning to do more of, prioritizing myself, doing things that I know that I deserve, like just having a dream and going after that dream. So for example, I've always wanted to do silks, ribbons, dance ribbons, you know, juggling. Like I thought that there was going to be a juggler out there, but I didn't see one. But I see that this one particular team of people, they do these things, and I was so excited. I started talking to people. Do you guys have ribbons? Like, I was very, you know, vocal. And I wasn't planning on like making friends or like maybe talking to people, but I'm very cordial. And the moment I come up, I'm hearing people go, oh my gosh, I love your makeup. Hi. There were several people that came up to me, mostly women, and they were talking to me, and we're talking together, and we're just like having this, just the aura is rising. And I was excited to just experience this, you know, moment. And it sounds very small, but to someone who is very introverted and kind of likes to stay by themselves a lot, it did kind of put into perspective of what I've been avoiding this whole time, which is socializing, getting out. I'm a normal person. I deserve to have a social life just like the next person. And I think where I was really like putting all of my energy in is that I was trying to focus on finding something that I really liked. So even though I like seeing those glow-in-the-dark staffs, and they're constantly doing like the fire, I've seen the fire blowers and the people who do all this really cool circus-esque stuff, and I'm just like, you know, like I just have a few more steps to go to getting into my craft fully. And like limiting myself has been something that I've done for a long time. And so I knew I wanted to do poi because I've seen it before. I wanted to do just all this stuff. Somebody said dragon staffs, which I don't even know what that is, but I went out there excited and elated. I did film some like clips. I will try to put some clips in here to kind of show you how it turned out, but I was trying to be very fluid with my movement, even though I'm still working around having a chronic illness that makes me protrude in the stomach area. And I've not found a doctor yet that actively wants to do the surgery that I need to be able to get down to my regular body weight and then be able to function and move the way that I'm supposed to, because this condition also is hard on my lower back. But for some reason, I am not letting that stop me this time. It's very personal. I just want to immerse myself in all of the positive things. And so I did set my camera up away from the crowd, and I did talk to some people, but at the core, I was really concentrating. And I was really like focused. I didn't really care about who was looking at me or who wasn't. I didn't care about what people were contemplating and thinking of me. It just really did not matter to me. And I'm getting back to that old me that I used to be, and I'm really happy due to cutting out the negative voices, the negative treatment. The experiences that you have start to shape you in a certain way, whether positive or negative. So as I was doing that, I began to notice that there were two separate little boys, specifically little boys. One, he looked older than the other one, but the one kid, I mean, he was asking tons of questions. He told me once, you know, I'm thirsty. I said, oh, okay, well, get some water, get you something to drink. But he said it to me directly, so that's why I answered back. And then he goes, but how, where? And I said, well, where's your parents? Where's your guardian? And he runs off. And then he comes back and he's talking to me about some random facts and stuff. And given the fact that I work with children in face painting and just being around people in general, taking in a lot of energy, over the top energy, is difficult. And especially the energy from people who are not able to kind of like, let's talk for a little bit, which those women at first, we talked, we laughed, whatever, but then everybody went in their own little spots and we all like focused in on hula hooping and all this stuff. And I like that dynamic. I like being able to talk to people and then retreat. But it was very hard for me because these two individual children, they didn't look related. They just were very persistent. And I think going back to edit like the film on my camera that I caught of some of the stuff that I had done, some of the stuff that my girls have done, it was so difficult to finally like be faced with trying to edit someone's child out of the film, and the child had on boxers and that was it. And like even when the kid came up, because I wasn't even like pretty much paying attention to everybody, I was like really in my own world, like really trying to put this effort in, because these are things that I've always wanted to do. And then after attending like the CLT Purgatory Fairy Frolic event, where like all of the, I mean, oh gosh, it was just so cool to see people dressing in like very sexy clothing, doing like tease type stuff, but also, you know, they had the ribbons going. One girl had like the staff going, and hers would glow in the dark, the lights on it, and like the more she twisted it, the more it looked like pictures, bro, and patterns. I was like, I have to fucking stop listening to people and that old voice of people who are not even in my like front vision. They are in the rear view, and if I want to look back and drive back and fail, by all means I can do that, but right now I'm like ahead. So I was really focused. So that, I will say, had a big part to do with it, because I really took it serious. I want to immerse myself in these events, especially when they're free, because it was free, because it was family friendly, and it was something that I could learn to be able to kind of build my skill set up. I decided, I was like, I'm taking this serious. And I think the boys were really, I just wanted to express how saddened I was a little bit, because when I am working with children, I've been working with children since I was about 14 or 15. I grew up in a household where in-home childcare was like the center business of that home, and I've been working with kids for that long, on top of being the oldest of my family, and then having children myself, and then having nieces and nephews. And I love children. Children are something that I feel like are the purest, most energetic fields of energy that I've ever seen in my life. Children's energy can be so pure, and I love cultivating that in my children. I think where it really like stumbled me was that although working with a bunch of kids, the struggle, the challenge, the downside of that is usually I'm doing parties. Usually it's birthday parties, it's special events. Sometimes these events don't have order. The events that I've had at the library has had the most order. Like events that I've done, I've had one instance where I did have, no, two actually, two assistants who could take pictures, film, because I still need to do content to be able to post pictures and let people know this is the service that I'm offering. And then being able to get everybody in line, that's one thing. Some of the parents that book me for face painting for their like birthday parties for their kids, some of them read the contract and they know that they're supposed to be the host that is supposed to have all the kids in line. Either they give them tickets, they give them numbers, they're all supposed to be in line. The frustration I had with the party that I'd done recently was that it was the opposite of that, and all the kids, we agreed on a certain number and there were more kids than agreed upon, which I'm not really sure why, but it's just like that stuff makes the difference. And so I think on top of getting in my head to like gain a skill set, and then having these things happen where a kid is like walking in frame and he literally is wearing just boxers, no t-shirt, no shoes, and that made me shudder a bit. And I was so taken off because I was taken off of my course. He walked up and, you know, they both at certain times were trying to like grab what we had. There were tons of hula hoops, tons of staffs, tons of little poi, like they had so many that they had them, you know, on a table and everything. And it's just like the kids were a bit unruly, and to me, I just wish that maybe it would have gone differently, because then I could have had a complete video just all the way through. But I can't. I have to edit now, and that stuff takes a long time. Anyways, it was just a challenge for me. So I think now what I'm going to do, since I have like a little bit of a grasp of what I liked there, which was the poi, which was the ribbons, because I ended up tying ribbons that were just laying down on the table onto a string, and I started just, I mean, I was going, and I was really excited about it. And I think what I'm going to do now is look on Etsy. I'm going to see if there are any videos about how to start these things. Those LED like light up staffs, those I'm not even going to begin to try to look that up to see how much it is. I'm just not. I don't even know if I have film of the girl at Purgatory, but if I do, I'll try to insert it because she was killing it. Okay. But anyways, that's what I did today, and I'm gonna finish cooking lunch really quick, and then I will be back soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back. Hi again. Okay, so I did just finish lunch. I've been having pretty big lunches and small dinners lately. I'm trying to be a little bit more health conscious than I have been before previous. So I'd say about 2 to 3 years now I've been just having an influx of weight. So I am focused on my weight. I'm feeling sick with certain foods is what I've been paying attention to, but also when someone else confirmed that that's how they felt too, I was thinking to myself, maybe this one food item is the issue. So I'm going to show you what I made for lunch. This is my lunch. I don't know if you can see the steam still coming off of it. I like charred vegetables, so my green beans have to be charred a little bit. I did use butter and garlic. I have been using a lot of garlic lately. Garlic to me has a lot of health properties. And if you're ever curious, look it up because the foods that we eat do have a lot of good health properties. I should have put onion in it, so I want to start growing a small, like, I'm not even going to say garden because I don't have land, but I would like to take the vegetables and fruits that I do have and kind of keep their seeds, grow peppers, grow onions, and garlic too, and just other things as well, to kind of have a little area to go to for my herbs, for my vegetables, you know. So definitely not for fruit. But I mean, making the plant is cool. It's just, it takes a while. Maybe not strawberries though. Strawberries I feel like it's doable. But anyway, so I'll be back and I'm gonna go eat. Was that glitter twitching? Anyways, I've been obsessed with this little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's doing this little glitter. Let's see if I turn the light down. You can see it with the light down. Okay. It's this little glitter, what do you call it? Blush? Glitter blush. I just started makeup today. I have no clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just started that recently. I really like, oh, I didn't know that the camera could be panned out a little bit. Okay, well anyways, we'll do that. I'll show you the necklaces that I'm wearing and then I'm going to have dinner. Okay. Here are the necklaces that I'm wearing. I did have a choker. I took it off. And then these are the other two. So, yeah. The food was excellent, as normal. I actually really love my own cooking because I just make it the way that I like. Oh, there's my black lipstick. Okay. So this whole time, when I was looking for black lipstick, I couldn't find it because I wanted to do my lips black. But instead, I found the purple, and I was a little upset because I didn't want to do purple lips. And then I just told myself, you know what, just do purple lips. So I did, and now I found the black. It was actually in my purse the whole time. Okay. I feel like that's good. Quick update. Back in that action. Okay. I have been going on a recent health journey, so that's a positive and a plus. Side note, I know that y'all have been seeing this one advertisement for this brand called Cheek Boss. I just want to quickly say Cheek Boss is awesome. I was going to try to model for Cheek Boss, but I am not in the area for it, and I don't have anybody who can take my pictures for me that I fully feel comfortable being around just yet in being a Cheek Boss. So, but I did get some really new pairs of undergarments from them, and they are so cute. Oh my god. So mine, the way that they fit, they look like what they call boy shorts. I don't know if I can show you. Do you see? Like, they are so cute. They are so cute. But I ended up getting them from, or no, with a discount. So they had this like new promotional thing going on at the time. So I got, I think, 3 pair, and the 4th pair was free. But all 3 pairs were discounted, so that was a plus. Anyways, this is the bag that I'm carrying right now. Earthbound bag. has a little moth on it. It has the chakras on it. But Earthbound is one of like my favorite stores. I used to shop there when I was rolling in dough at one point. Wanted to go over the books really quick that I'm reading. Here's the first book I'm reading, Goodbye Theodore. I have gotten into it. I'm not going to talk about this book simply because I have book reviews set up already for this book, so I'm not talking about it today. I know y'all probably seen this book if you're regular on my channel, so I'm not going to talk about it at all, but I will. My hands are like really greasy, like I have oils and stuff on it, but I will wipe it down later. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about that book at all. It has its own separate series, like video book review. And going through like some of my old videos on YouTube, I did realize that some people were asking me for book review. Did y'all hear that? Some people were asking me for book reviews. They were like, oh my gosh, since you read so much, can you do book reviews? Oh my gosh, you're a reader, please review books. So I'm going to try to do that more. Why is it not showing up? There we go. Maybe if I get out of the way. There we go. The Aromatherapy Companion. So I had just gotten into this book recently because my goal has been to read and complete one book, but also while I'm reading, if I read for the first time in the day, it has to be on the treadmill. The treadmill is right here. I have to do it on the treadmill, and technically I'm supposed to do 1 hour of workout, but I find that I have to build myself up first to be able to do that. Because on my first day of workout, I could do 26 or so minutes of treadmill. After that, I felt like I was going to hurl. It could have been because I did eat the vegan beef crumble, and for some reason that makes me feel woozy. But I got off, I took a breath, I drank, and then I started reading because I had already been on the treadmill for that day. If I want to start reading, I have to be on the treadmill for the first chapter pretty much. But if I'm on the treadmill 30 minutes and I'm reading and I'm taking a break, I can continue to read. That's the only way I'm able to read. And I'm doing that for myself so that I can get two things done at once. I really miss reading. Having a nervous system that's catching up with my calm lifestyle now, it has been a hard transition, but I am so happy and I'm so elated and just ecstatic to be able to hold myself up to certain goals. So with reading treadmill. So as far as the apothecary, the Aromatherapy Companion, it's a portable guide to blending essential oils and crafting remedies for body, mind, and spirit. Now, what attracted me to this book? Aromatherapy is something that I know a little bit about. I do have, here we go. I do have some oils in my possession. Whoa, what in the world? It's so bad, guys. There we go. I do have some oils in my possession, right? And some of them are old, meaning it's just their, this is not, this one I don't think is, it is in a darker bottle though, but this one I got specifically because it's a mix and it smells really good. It smells sweet. And then if you notice, there's tons more on this little side here. There's so many more back there, herbs and things like that. Those are where I store them. Some of these, they are not even, there's none. But I do keep them because eventually I want to start making my own oils, essential oils. Oils for skin, magical practice, things of that sort. Healing, self-healing. The one thing that attracted me not only was the theme of the book, which is aromatherapy, but companion to me sounds, that's like a buzzword. Something that's going to be by your side when you need it. And I will admit, when I first opened this book up, this is the first picture that I saw, and I was like, wait, are these my hands? First and foremost, looks like my hands minus the nail bed, but lavender is one of my, it looks like lavender to me. is one of my favorite plants. I have purchased lavender plants in the past, and I love lavender oil. Lavender oil smells delicious. I was the purple sister growing up, and purple just meant a lot to me. It still does, obviously. But when I first opened this book and I read the introduction, it's chapter 1, introduction to essential oils. Chapter 1 captivated me instantly. I was just like, oh shoot. It gave me good information on essential oils, like basic, good, top-notch information. But I think what really turned me on to this book and continuing this book is the fact that it started talking about oils that are harmful. Letting you know, like, yes, this is a book about extractions from plants. Plants are awesome. Some plants, we grind them up and drink of their water that they've been boiled in. Some plants, we extract from them and we use them in our hair products or our skin products. Or some plants help us to sleep better when we make oils out of them, and just all this other stuff. But then some plants, if digested, if put on the skin, can X, Y, and Z. This brings me into the next portion of what I wanted to discuss really quick. So they did come up with 3 categories. Category 1, mild essential oils, and then category 2, strong essential oils, and then category 3, powerful essential oils, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, some of the category 1, they say, would be considered cedarwood, one of my favorite. Oh my god, oh, camera's going dead, 1 second. I have been thoroughly enjoying it. Category 1 would be German chamomile, which I think the book said that, of course, some of the herbs can dye like color fabrics, and so I think it said that it turns like a green or blue. I'm still interested in figuring out if that's true or not. But German chamomile, citrus oils, ginger. I love ginger. Ginger is so delicious. I've been actually making turmeric ginger tea lately, and cutting up actual ginger. Turmeric, it tastes pretty sweet to me together. I really do like it, and I've been drinking it in the morning to also help with the fibroid situation. Cilantro, frankincense, I love all those smells. Cedarwood is my favorite. Ugh, love cedarwood. So that would be mild essential oils. Category 2, which is strong essential oils, it would be considered like rosemary, sage. I love sage, and I actually like rosemary too. And then category 3, which are the powerful essential oils, that would be mugwort. Love mugwort. Sage, it's a different, oh, it's the same type of sage actually as the strong essential oils, so that's the same. Wormwood, cedar leaf, I don't have any experience with wormwood at all. Pennyroyal, I don't have any experience with that one either. But okay, so this situation here calls for safety issues. So along with the category above, which would be the powerful essential oils, it is important to also know any specific safety concerns for each individual essential oil you have. And because so many aromatherapy products are applied to the skin, be aware of potential skin reactions. Now, it talks about having irritations to different essential oils. That to me is understandable. It talks about cinnamon bark, citronella, clove bud, lemongrass, oregano, thyme. I've heard of thyme, obviously, oregano, lemongrass, all of that. But as I was reading this, and it started talking about how crazy and like life-threatening some of these oils were, essential oils were, if ingested or comes in contact with a person's skin. I was watching a really short clip on YouTube the other day, and I put this clip on because it instantly captivated me fully. I was like wrapped in. The video picture, although I don't like the fact that it was AI, the picture was of a time period African-American woman, and one of my kids walked in and goes, "Wait, is that Harriet Tubman?" Because of the way that she was dressed. I do have an altar that commemorates Harriet Tubman and all her efforts, although that's not her real name. I just say that for familiarity purposes so that you guys know who I'm talking about. But I then replied, no, it's not her. oh, okay, well, what happened? Was she enslaved? And I mean, she could tell that she was, because that was a lot of African American people's reality, although reparations are still due. I got instantly wrapped up in her story. So I want to be able to say her name, because as I was watching it, I was doing other things too, and I was just listening to the storytelling portion, although I wish that we could tell our own stories if we did know our history. So, okay, here we go. Here we go. Her name is, I think this is it. Yes, here we go. Whoops. That's weird that that happened. I had charged that light. That's weird. Okay. That was so weird. But the fact that it just like randomly went out was really weird. One of the articles came up. His name is 𝍊🋼🍊🍊. So the article is talking about how in Tennessee, the summer of 1853, there was an enslaved woman named Louisa. To the family that she lived with and was enslaved by, she was the family's seamstress, so she would make them garments and clothing. I identified with that, obviously. I've not made clothes in such a long time, but I did get my sewing machine back recently, and my plan is to start making clothing. I love that concept. I have family who I grew up with and they made clothes, and so fashion was always something really important to me, on top of the fact that I'm learning about my ancestors on top of that. So anyways, she was extremely silent. She played the role of an invisible person. You only knew her by her finished products, which were these garments that the family wore. Louisa decided that she would go into the field in like a wooded area, and she would come back with these plants, right? And these plants, she would disappear into her room where she made the clothing, and these plants were utilized for something. But as quiet as she stayed, during this summertime, the family started to notice that they were starting to fall ill. And first it started with the daughter. The daughter, actually, they would get like these really weird rashes, and they would get these weird like symptoms of what many people thought was just somewhat of like a flu. A lot of them started vomiting and just showing signs of like that they were truly ill. And first it was the daughter. She fell dead, and then I think shortly after, the mother, she fell dead as well. And one by one, each family member of this enslaved home started to die off. And of course, in between the visits from the doctors that would come to the homes to kind of check everybody out, they didn't know what it was. They chalked it up to just an illness, a sickness that would happen. And secretly, what Louisa was doing was she was sewing these plants into the garments of these enslaved individual, or enslavers of the family who enslaved, sorry. And with every seam she would go down, there would be an extra flap of fabric there, or a double seam. And a lot of people just didn't pay attention to it, and no one had an answer until later on she did come out, and they asked her, you know, are you poisoning this family? Are you doing any things to the garments that you wouldn't normally do or be asked to do? And she said no. And to me, she is a hero of mine. There were silent ways that African American enslaved people had to get justice, because looking at how small of a community we are as a people, we are so small in this country. And the crazy part about it is we have so much cultural influence. It's almost insane how the world has stolen from Black people, but specifically Black American people. And the fact that culture was something that we had to earn, and we still, in other people's eyes, do not deserve autonomy towards the way that we express ourselves, our spirituality, our sexualities, our genders, anything. Our professions, our hobbies, our interests. I could go on. I'm going to do a separate video about that, but an updated one. To hear that story previous, it just reminded me of what I was learning in this book. I had learned certain essential oils that are put in like a tincture or a drink, like if someone ingests them, it could be fatal. And having the knowledge to read this in a book and then take that information with me is a very interesting piece of information, given the fact that I am a very targeted demographic and have been. I don't know what to expect in this world currently with what's going on in the White House and just the cultural influence of the South and what that means. And it just brought me into perspective. Like, I have ancestors who, by knowledge, they knew what plants to do what with. And African spirituality was demonized. Black American spirituality was demonized. Cultural spirituality, not the influence of Eurocentric religion, but actual raw, in the dirt, in the mud, gathering bones, laying hands, y'all. Laying hands. I'm talking about that type of spirituality, or spiritual path, or if you will, practice. But yeah, that part really was like intense for me. I was just like, wow, the fact that I can just pick up a book and read this information, whereas someone like Louisa just kind of had to go with the flow. And a lot of things I look at in history, not being able to patent things or put your own name on it or tell your own story. The thing that annoys me the most is whenever I'm watching, and as a child I used to wonder this all the time, whenever I'm watching a documentary about ancient Africa or some sort of tribal people, the voice that's telling the story sounds a lot like this, and you know, King Arthur and King the Pharaoh, and we just have to go along with what British influence. It's like, enough. I'm done with hearing people who are forcing uninteresting information. I'm gonna tell my own story. I'm gonna write my own story. I do not want anyone who doesn't know me and who cannot identify with who I am as a person telling my story. And so to me, that was very empowering to experience. I mean, it was like within a few days of each other. So I'm going to try to finish reading this book. I don't know how many more days I have with this book. I'm going to try to oh my gosh, elongate, like expand my time with this book, because it is a library book. I am always getting library books. That sticker indicates it. And yeah, I just want to be able to finish this. I am also writing notes from this book to keep on hand for myself, just to have the information to be able to refer back, and then also write this as a source, the resource for, the source for the information that I then take notes on. I don't know, I just think it's really interesting to have information. Like, there is an essential oil mixture that can be good for your stomach or your back, like if you have ailment. Well, I am very sore, and I would love to be able to utilize this so that I can take it on in my journey of life. I am being casted out from the medical standpoint, which also goes along with history. I have talked to several doctors who denied me the surgery that I need to be able to get back to my normal 30-something-year-old life. And I'm not going to stop until I find someone with the answers, but also gathering the answers myself in the meantime. And so this book is insane. I've just been very thoroughly happy about this book, first and foremost. And if you would like to pick it up or get it from your local library, you can even use apps, whichever apps your library works with. The books are completely free if you have a library card. So ours would be Libby, Libby, the Libby app. And all you have to do is put in your number, your library number, and then tell them which library is your main one, which would be the closest one to you or the one that you like to go to, because every library is definitely different. But yeah, so I would definitely highly suggest that. And then another thing, I've been collecting these little monkey monsters. They are all no longer with us, only in spirit. I've been collecting these. I took a flower that I had pressed and put one up there, and then another one here. I still need to finish decorating, but this is a gift that I am waiting to fill all the way up. I've been finding these bugs super dead, and because I'm in North Carolina, I know for a fact summertime these bugs are going to be dead. I haven't found any bees yet or butterflies, but these insects, these little buggies, are around, and it's been a fun treat to be able to find them and then jar them up. I'm gonna send them to my best friend because she loves these bugs. But I have also been looking at these really cool taxidermy bone collecting content online and on like Facebook groups and stuff, and I've been extremely jealous. There are people who find whole literal animals and just the only thing that's left is like the hair and the bones. And I'm just like, if ever I could be so lucky to actually go out and find these bones and hair and all, well, not the hair, but the bones, then I would be so excited. I would use these bones for crafting and all this stuff, so as well as workings too. You can always harvest that energy, especially if it's just there, and to be able to also make sure that you thank the earth. You leave something as you're taking something. Again, I just want to thank everybody for watching my videos. I am going to be drinking water non-stop. I hope that y'all are drinking water too. It is very important to stay hydrated, no joke. It's so hot out. Yeah, so that was hopefully a quick update. I'm going to upload this video and get to working on some cool projects and things that I have in store, but thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please take care, and we will be talking much sooner than you think.